your dreams.
Welcome back to another Zenless Zone Zero video. Today I'm going to be talking about leaks of Alice, the new character that's coming in Zenless Zone Zero in 2.1, a new physical anomaly character. Keep in mind that since these are leaks, obviously things are subject to change, so just keep that in the back of your head while you're watching this video. Also, the translations for these are a little wonky, so forgive me if things do go wrong or if I accidentally missay something. So Alice is a new physical anomaly character. So what's the difference between her and Jane Doe? Well, Jane Doe is a lot more easier to build, while Alice is going to be a little bit more difficult to build, since Alice is not Alice is going to be a more of a crit rate, crit damage anomaly character, similar to Mayabi. Not to mention their playstyles are going to be, pretty fucking different. Jane Doe is more like a dodge counter, while Alice is more like a basic swordsman like play style. Alice actually kind of reminds me of Lynette from Genshin Impact. They both have a pretty similar appearances. They both look pretty elegant. They both use a short sword. Anyways, Alice's core passive is whenever she attacks an enemy, they're going to be left with this thing called a mark. Whenever Alice crits on a marked enemy, it's basically going to inflict assault right away. This assault from this way does not consume the anomaly build up, so you don't have to regain the anomaly build up again. It's basically just going to be staying there. After this assault happens, Alice will gain 1 stack of sword energy. You can hold up to 2 stacks, I believe, and this will basically increase her damage by 20%. Max bonus says 60%, but you can only hold 2 stacks. I think there might be a mistranslation error, but basically this sword energy that she gets after the assault will basically increase her damage. Pretty straightforward DPS character. Her ultimate is a really basic ultimate. It basically, deals damage to the enemy or multiple slashes to the enemies. There is no other special effect with her ult. I also forgot to mention, when there is an anomaly or support characters in the team, Alice triggers an assault, the enemy's defense will be decreased by 12.5% for 15 seconds. When the enemy gets a disorder effect, Alice will get 1 bar of sword energy. Alice can also get a bar of sword energy when she does her X special attack, and if you have up to 3 of them, you can hold her X special attack for an additional effect. It will basically unleash a multiple of slashes to the enemy. I don't know what else to really say about Alice. She seems like a pretty basic DPS character. W engine has the basic attack of 713, crit rate of 24%. Alice does need crit rate since she basically needs it in order to inflict assault on the enemies really quickly. Also a typical crit rate, crit damage DPS character. With this W engine, Alice's crit damage will be increased by 48%, so a pretty good fucking W engine. When the equipper of this W engine inflicts assault to the enemy, it will increase attack by 9% for 12 seconds, up to 2 stacks or 2 layers according to this translation. As for her Mindscapes cinemas, keep in mind that these are subject to change. I'm also going to be going over the first 2 since I do think they're important. When Alice inflicts assault on the enemy that consumes a mark, her next mark attack will basically deal 20% more damage, if this translation is accurate. Defense reduction of the enemy will also be increased by 20% or decreased by 20%. Enemy will basically have more defense reduction. M2 seems really wonky with the translation. Let me see if I can get this correct. Basically, from what I can infer from her M2, instead of getting the 3 stacks of the sword energy bar, she's gonna get an increase of 6. Translation is so just on and off. At first it says 2 stacks, now it's saying 3. At M2, she can get 6 stacks. I'm going to assume at base, Alice can hold up to 3 stacks, but with her M2, she can hold up to 6 stacks. Other effect of her M2 is that when she does a dash attack, she's basically going to immediately do a 4th segment of her basic attack, and her 5th basic attack will be enhanced. And I think that's basically all there is to her M2. As I said earlier, Alice seems to be a pretty basic DPS character. She needs crit rate, crit damage. She isn't a physical anomaly character. Physical in this game is treated pretty badly, partially because, for one, there really isn't really a real dedicated physical support yet, and number two, there isn't that many bosses that are weak to physical. Alice does get a pretty good boost from Yakuza. She is going to get a pretty good boost from Yuzuha, but that's only because Alice is an anomaly character and Yuzuha boosts anomaly characters. When it comes to the calculations between her and Jane Doe, I can't really say. I do hear rumors that Jane Doe is going to get a buff next. I don't know when, but I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. I do think Jane Doe is way easier to build since she doesn't need crit rate or crit damage, while Alice does. However, Alice might actually be a little bit more stronger than Jane Doe since she is a new character. They might be equal for all I know. I don't really do the calculations. Physical characters in general are kind of not that good, but since this is a single player game, it's not like it matters that much at the end of the day. Since she is a DPS character, I do think she is somewhat of an easy skip. However, I am going to be pulling for her anyways because I do think she looks attractive. I don't really have much to say about Alice, but yeah, that's my final thoughts. Let me know what you guys think about Alice, and I will see you guys later.
Bye bye now. Come again soon.